Have you ever been so afraid of failing at something that you didn't even try? Hey, it's Corinne, your mental performance coach for everyday life, and welcome back to Everyday MVP. Today, we're talking about fear, specifically the kind that doesn't come from a real threat, the kind that lives in your head and quietly talks you out of things before you even get started. Here's what I want you to understand from the start. The fear is real, but the threat usually isn't. And yet, we let it stop us anyway. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall constantly. My kid falls constantly, or he did. And they just get back up. No dwelling, no self judgment, no fear of falling again. They don't sit down and decide, walking isn't for me. They just go. Because at that age, all they care about is getting where they want to go. That's fearless. And somewhere along the way, most of us lose that. We start calculating, we start protecting, we start asking, what if I fall? What if I fail? What if everyone sees me fail? And those questions quietly talk us out of things before we even begin. That's what a fear-driven mindset does. A fear-driven mindset puts your focus on what you want to avoid. Not making mistakes, not losing, not embarrassing yourself, not failing. And when your focus is on what you want to avoid, that's exactly where your energy goes. Your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. And if that one thing is what you're trying to prevent, you become tentative, timid, hesitant. You're not playing to win, you're playing not to lose. And there's a massive difference between those two things. Maybe you avoid trying altogether because if you don't try, you can't fail. Maybe you replay every mistake long after the moment is over. Maybe you put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect that you never feel like you measure up. Or maybe you're so focused on not messing up that you're not even present anymore. That's what fear does. It pulls you out of the moment and turns every opportunity into something to survive instead of something to experience. And the tricky part? It feels like self-protection. It feels responsible, like you're just being realistic. But what it's actually doing is keeping you stuck. I worked with a basketball player who knew this feeling well. Every time he stepped on the court, his entire focus was on not making mistakes, on being perfect, because he believed that if he wasn't perfect, his coach wouldn't start him. He wasn't focused on the game, he was focused on his fear. And the deeper we dug, the more he realized his ultimate fear wasn't really about basketball at all. It was about not being good enough, not being chosen. That fear was running everything: his decision, his confidence, his performance. And here's what fear-driven thinking does over time. It shrinks you. It makes the game or the presentation or the conversation or whatever your performance is feel like a minefield instead of an opportunity. Every step becomes about survival instead of growth. So, what's the alternative? A success-driven mindset shifts your focus from what you want to avoid to what you actually want to do. Instead of asking, what do I need to not mess up? You ask, what do I want to accomplish right now? Instead of focusing on the obstacle, you focus on the target. And that one shift changes everything about how you show up. Think of it like the difference between an abundance mindset and a scarcity mindset. One is focused on possibility. The other is focused on loss. One moves you forward. The other keeps you braced for impact. When my basketball player shifted his focus from not making mistakes to what he actually wanted to do on the court, something started to change. Not because he suddenly became more talented, but because he stopped fighting himself every time he touched the ball. He started playing like he knew he could. That's what a success-driven mindset does. It gets you out of your own way. And I want you to feel that for yourself right now. So try this with me. Think about an obstacle you're facing, something you've been hesitant about, something fear has been quietly talking you out of. Close your eyes if you can. Picture yourself hitting that obstacle. I want you to feel the fear that comes with it. Don't push it away. And then see yourself moving forward anyway. See yourself on the other side of it. See yourself succeeding despite the obstacle. Your brain is rehearsing what's possible. Because here's what's true about failure. It isn't permanent. It teaches us. It stretches us. It makes us wiser if we're willing to learn from it. Failure usually isn't the thing that breaks us. Avoiding life because we're afraid to fail, that's what does it. That's what keeps us stuck. And yes, fear is human. We're wired to protect ourselves. That's okay. But protection and growth can't always live in the same place. Fear doesn't stop us. It's what we decide to do with that fear that does. So, here's your MVP challenge this week. When fear shows up, and it will, I want you to pause and ask yourself one question. What's important now? I want you to remember those 3 words as win. What's important now? Instead of spiraling into what could go wrong or what you're afraid of losing, come back to what's important right now in this moment. That question brings you back to the present, back to what you actually want, back to a success-driven mindset. Be like that child who just gets back up. Focus on what you want, not what you're afraid of. And remember, Mind League team, your most valuable player is you. Every day is a new day. Breathe in, breathe out. You've got this.